And when a war comes along, not all the young fellows, but a lot of the young fellows of war draft age volunteer to serve on active duty, and they go down, they enlist. And it was just, that is what I was patriotic. I wanted to fight for my country, and I didn't have a clue as to what I was doing, but I went down and enlisted.
Well, why do you feel you succeeded in the Army?
A lot of things happened when I went on active duty. I found out that the discipline in my home growing up with my father was much more strict than the discipline in the United States Army. And I found that the work I was doing in the Army, all of the things that they asked me to do, compared to what I had done, like working in that steel foundry, for example, working on a farm growing up, my goodness, I had done a lot more harder work than they were asking of me. And so as a result, I just sort of enjoyed the Army life. We got 3 square meals a day. And then as time went on, finally, one day I woke up and I said, you know, I've been in this Army for a few years. I had better figure out whether I want to stay here or not, or whether I really want to get out of this Army. And so that's when I finally made a very conscious decision to say, okay, this is going to be my career.
Tell us about your Eagle Scout experience that is in the book.
I'm a young boy. There has never been a black Eagle Scout in western Pennsylvania. Nada. Zero. And I decided I wanted to be an Eagle Scout. And, of course, all the people in the scouting business said there's never been a black Eagle Scout, and we doubt very seriously if you can get there, but if you want to try it, go ahead. So I did, and some years went by. I ended up finally qualifying to be an Eagle Scout. And then the time came to award me the Eagle Scout pin, the badge. You know, they put it around, it's on a ribbon, and a red, white, and blue ribbon. They put it around your neck. And they do this in our town anyway. They did it at a dinner that they had with the families. All the families come out. They have this dinner. They call the young boys who've become Eagle Scouts out. There's usually only 3 or 4, 2 or 3. They go up to the front, and, of course, a lot of good words are said over, and then they put the Eagle Scout pin around your neck with the eagle on it. And the Eagle Scout folks said, you know, Eagle Scout, we always do this at the hotel. I said, we got a little problem. I said, what's the problem? The problem is that black people are not allowed in the hotel. And there are only 2 of you this year who are going to be Eagle Scouts. So the white boy can come, but you're going to have to stay home. And we understand that may not make you feel too good, but that's just the way things are. And I was not happy, of course, about this. And then, though, one of the things that happened is that, now listen to the year. You know, we're talking about around 1949, 1948. And back in those days, we didn't have Jesse Jacksons. We didn't have the NAACP running around all over the place. We didn't have Fox News, for example. The white people who were on the board of directors of the Boy Scout, with no pressure from anybody, that's the point I'm making. Nobody put any pressure on. They got together and they said, you know what, this is wrong. And they made an appointment, went to see the manager of the hotel, and they explained the situation. They said, we want that young fellow and his family to come to dinner. They're going to sit in your dining room, and he's going to walk up on that stage, and we're going to put this little pin on him, and he's going to be declared an Eagle Scout. And if you don't cooperate, we're going to meet with all the businessmen in this town, and we're going to suggest to them that they not patronize your hotel, and you're not going to have any business from the business community. Well, at that, the hotel manager had an epiphany about this, and he decided that it would be just absolutely fine to have this black family come in. And that's exactly what we did. Had a great evening. A great speaker. They gave me a chance to get up there on the stage and say a few words along with the other boy, the white boy, and we both got our pins around our neck. But my point is, this is the United States of America. Those white fellows in the 40s, they had no reason to do this, and they did it only because it was the right thing to do. And that's the kind of thing I ran across all my young life out of the military and in the military, which was segregated when I came in. But this is a great country, and it's a country of hope. It's a country of the future, And I just pray that all of the young people coming up today realize what a wonderful place it is to grow up in this country.
All that we hear from the media is how horrible this country is. You say that with honor, perseverance, and hard work, anybody can make it in this country. I hope it's still true under Obama.
That's America. You know, that's what George Washington and Ben Franklin and Thomas Jefferson, that's what that was all about. That's what this country was. That's how we got this nation founded. Yeah, you can stand back like the media does today, and you can throw rocks at everybody, and you can be nasty and noisy, and you can say bad things about the United States. But my wife and I, because we were in the military, we lived overseas much of our adult life. We lived in Europe. I think 5 tours I had in Europe. We lived in the Far East. We talked to foreigners. We ate with foreigners. We had evening discussions over dinner with foreigners. And any foreigner that we talked to at some point in time would always comment that the United States was a wonderful and a great country, and they hope to either visit there or they hope to come and live in the United States of America. And this is from foreigners, not from Americans. I think that the people in the news media need to go and talk to some of the real foreigners who live overseas. I remember I was invited to a German meeting, and they were setting up a German organization, and somebody in the group stood up and said, well, I nominate General Curry to be the vice president of this organization. And some German jumped up and said, wait a minute, these Americans, you know, they're taking over everything, and they're doing this, and we don't want any Americans running a German organization. And then at the end of it, after he had finished his little tirade and sat down, another German stood up, and this German looked around at the group, and he said, gentlemen, he said, I want to be very clear with everybody here. He said, if Germany tomorrow gets into trouble and needs some nation to come to its aid with military armed forces to help it maintain its peace and its liberty and its democracy, the nation that will lead the fight for Germany is the United States of America, and we all know that. So let's not say things that we will regret later on.
General Curry, thank you for your service to our nation, and thanks again for being on the Savage Nation.
Savage. The Savage Nation.
Takes the news and tears it apart and puts it back together in a way that I can understand it.
Talk 910 KNEW.
And it's Monday, and it's Blue Monday, and here's what's on michaelsavage.com. Over 1.2 million unique visitors every month. That's right. Obama stops the CIA from hunting and killing al-Qaeda leaders. That's right, you heard correctly. There was a 2001 presidential authorization to capture or kill our worst enemies in al-Qaeda, and Leon Panetta, under Obama's rules, stopped the CIA from hunting and killing our worst enemies. This is crazy. On the right side, the Republicans and Eric Holder, that's our Attorney General, are battling over the new Black Panthers, wanting to know why he dismissed charges of voter intimidation against two members of the new Black Panther Party. If you remember, these fine gentlemen are on video holding clubs outside a voting booth, not in Zambia, but in the United States of America. We don't know if they're working for Obama or where they are, but they haven't been prosecuted. This is a heartbreaker. You're not going to believe it. Kids recant sex abuse charge after their father was imprisoned for 20 years. A 33-year-old son said he told Detective Sharon Krause he was abused by his father to get the detective to leave him alone. I've heard a lot of this, that these detectives harass the children into these false accusations against parents. Me, I put the detective in prison for 20 years. This just in from Marin County, California. Porn King's son held in women slaying. 27-year-old son of the late Jim Mitchell killed the mother, allegedly, of his 1-year-old daughter with a baseball bat. Like father, like son, I guess. Don't miss this new article about Michael Savage. It can be found somewhere on my website. I don't know where. It's been buried, lost in space. I think they dropped it, but it's worth reading. I don't think it's there, but it's worth reading. Somebody dropped the most important story on the website. Police suspect wife strangling boxing champ with her purse strap. What? How could a former boxing champion be strangled by his wife's purse strap? Something's wrong with that picture. From Los Angeles, kids left in maggot-filled home while moms smoke pot. Obama approval index falls further. That's -8 now from the Rasmussen poll.